Welcome, Aficionado57 here. Once again, I'm on my Xbox One to bring you yet another achievement guide. In this particular video, I will be showing you how to unlock the Aficionado achievement, which is for fully upgrading a weapon. It's a rare achievement worth 30 gamer score in the new game, The Ascent. And for this particular achievement, it is extremely buggy, so you may not have this achievement, or you may be like me where the achievement progression got stuck. Generally somewhere between 60 to 80%, and even if you upgraded a weapon to level 10, you still couldn't get the achievement to unlock. So there has been a bit of a update for the game that fixed the achievement for some people, but it was still stuck for other people. Or if you're just starting the game, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and mostly fix the bug, unlock the achievement, and if you haven't gotten to the point where the achievement bugged yet, avoid getting the bug entirely until some other hot fix is put out to fix this. So basically, in the Ascent, you can upgrade your weapons that you find or buy from the store to different Mark versions or MK versions of the original weapon. And in order to do that, you're going to need to go to a specific NPC, and you're going to need specific materials. If you open up your character screen, you can see in the upper right hand corner there's a category called components, and there's 3 different components. Those components are found throughout the open world or rewarded from killing certain bounty targets and opening certain chests. Overall, you're going to need the basic components, the advanced components, and then lastly, the superior components. And a weapon can be upgraded to a total of 10 times, or MK10 Mark 10. So, for this particular task at hand, I have more than enough components. As you can see, I have 99 of the basic, 48 of the advanced, and I have 9 superiors. And I just want to show you what a component in the open world can look like. They're a little bit different for each one, but they'll usually be hidden out of the way, and if you walk up to them, it'll tell you what it is, and then you just press X to pick it up. On the map, it will appear as a little like goldish yellow box, but the map does sometimes take an exceedingly long time to load. At which point you can go back and check your inventory and see that now I have 10 superior components. You don't have to worry too much because you don't need a whole lot of superior components. You need a lot of basic components. It starts off really easy, but you need 1, 2, 3, and then 5 basic components to go from level 1 to 5. And then to go from level 5 to 8, you need 1 advanced component, 2 advanced components, and then 3 advanced components. And finally, to go from level 8 to level 10, you need 1 superior component to go to the 9th level from 8 to 9. And then from 9 to 10, you need 2 more superior components. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this area real quick. This is one of the actual last areas in the game. So these superior components can be kind of hard to find. There's already other posts that show all of the superior component locations, but just know that they are normally in out-of-the-way spots that you would not generally go to. So at this point, we're going to go back to one of the main sections, one of like the safe spots. The earliest one that you can go to is in Cluster 13, but there are other safe spots that have a NPC that is called a gunsmith, and that's what we need. Alright, so here we are back in one of the safe zones in this game, technically known as a node, and the first one that you come to is in Cluster 13, but there's a few of them scattered around the map. And what you're looking for is a NPC with this hammer icon just above their location. That is the gunsmith NPC. Now, before we go and do anything, I want to explain exactly how this works and how this achievement bugs out. Obviously, I don't work for the company, so I can't say with absolute certainty what is causing the particular bug, but I can say with relative certainty why the tracking is not working. So there's a ton of different weapons that you can get in this game, and obviously you can pick up multiple copies of these weapons. Now, if you sell all of the duplicate copies of a weapon and then you sell the weapon itself, except for your except for your equipped weapon, that is, you can't sell those. You have to unequip it first. But if you sell all of the copies of a weapon and then you pick up another version of the weapon, it will still be at whatever mark or variant that you had it at. So, for some reason, the tracking in this achievement seems to break when upgrading another weapon past the original mark of the first weapon that you upgraded. Now, I know that sounds a little bit complicated, so I had to go remake a character and test it out to see if my theory was correct. And you technically can fix this achievement by simply making a new character and then upgrading a weapon to Mark 10, and that seems to fix it for most people. Which got me to thinking, well, why did that work? Okay, at that point, you're basically speedrunning through to upgrade the first gun that you can after getting the components in order to do so. And once you know where all the components are, whether you use a map or you just remember them, or you are on your first playthrough and you go out of your way looking for all of those icons that I showed you on the map, it's relatively easy. Remember, the only icon for a pickup is that little brown, yellowish, gold, whatever you want to call it, box. It could be a chest that you have to open, or it could be something else. It could just be a skill point sitting there, any number of things. So going back to the guns, what tends to happen is, since the first several upgrades up to level 8 or MK8 are relatively easy to do, most people will upgrade one of the first weapons that they have, and then when they find a better weapon, they switch to that and upgrade that, and so on and so forth. At which point, the tracking in the achievement, from my experience, breaks and fails to track. So, if you are one of those people that has done that, the immediate solution that I've found that works is to go back to the very first weapon that you originally upgraded, assuming you remember what that is, and then get that weapon to 10. However, that method doesn't seem to be working for those people who have already taken another weapon past the mark level of the first weapon that they started upgrading. For instance, my Dread on this test character is at Mark 8. If I was to take, say, my ABR Commander to Mark 9, then that would break the tracking, and at this point, it doesn't seem like most people can get the achievement at that point without making a new character or waiting for Neon Giant to release a patch that would completely fix this tracking issue, even if they went back to the Dread and leveled it up to Mark 10. That's just been my experience. So, obviously, before you make a new character, I would try upgrading your very first upgraded weapon to Mark 10 and see if you can unlock the achievement, because, well, hey, that saves a lot of time and parts. But if you can't, then you might be stuck with making a new character and speedrunning to the point that you could just upgrade to Mark 10. With that being said, though, if you're new to the game, or you haven't upgraded a weapon yet, or you just haven't upgraded that many weapons, go back to your very first weapon and keep that in mind, that you need to upgrade it to Mark 10. Do not upgrade anything else past the mark that you've upgraded that weapon to. So as you can see here, I've got my Dread at Mark 8. And the Dread was a very beneficial weapon to me. I've used it for almost the entirety of the campaign because it's a ballistic assault rifle and it does decent damage. It's not as good as it could be. Of course, there are better weapons that you get later in the game. So just because I use this weapon for testing purposes doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and upgrade that to Mark 10 and get our achievement. First up is to talk to the gunsmith, select the weapon that we want, which, generally speaking, your highest mark weapon will appear up at the top, and it will tell you what you need. So this is using the superior component. We have 10 of those. I did mention you can farm basic components and advanced components because there are ones that are in the open world. There's also chances that they drop from bounties, and there's very specific later game enemies that you can fight, and if successful in defeating them, then they drop the advanced components and basic components. So don't really worry about those too much. Let's go ahead and upgrade the Dread now to Mark 9. Alright, so you see I have 9 parts left, and I need 2 to go to Mark 10. While we're in this screen, if we go to the achievement tracker, you'll notice that the achievement tracker has now updated to 90%. And if we make our last upgrade, within a few seconds of making that last upgrade, you'll have your nice shiny achievement. Aficionado, fully upgrade a weapon, 30 gamer score rare achievement. And that is how you go ahead and unlock that rare achievement. And hopefully this helps you out in defeating that bug. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to help you guys out. And I'm going to test one more thing, so just bear with me. I should also update anyone who is wondering, if you go to the official club, for instance, if your achievement doesn't seem to track properly, go to the official club and look at the achievement there, because it's a little bit more accurate in the official club than the regular pop-up tracker on the Xbox. Just something to double check. Now, there was some talk going around about getting your superior components back by avoiding an autosave functionality. I'm going to test that, but it's just... I tested it once before. It sometimes works. It sometimes doesn't. So I'm going to say this. The first gun that you upgrade should be a gun that you do want to keep at Mark 10. And basically, this is somewhat like save manipulation, because before you exit this screen, you're going to go and you're going to just close the game out. Some people have reported that doing that and loading the game back up then makes it so that their weapon is at the mark that it was before they initiated the last upgrades, so they get their superior components back. However, when I tested that on another account, it didn't actually work. Or not another account, but another character that I had made. So, it's personal preference if you want to do it, but with this game's loading times exceeding 7 minutes on an original Xbox One, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that, because you can get more superior components. Just remember that it takes quite a bit to upgrade a weapon. I'm going to show another weapon that is a pretty good gun that you could do this with. This is the EBR Enforcer. You get it about middle of the road through the campaign. It does decent damage. It's an energy weapon, burst fire with a slight homing effect. It's pretty good to always have a burst fire weapon. So I'm just going to run through all of the upgrades here so that you can see them. And then that will be the end of the video. It's really easy to get the basic and advanced components. So assuming that you find a weapon that you like and it doesn't surpass the first weapon that you were upgrading to avoid this glitch with the achievement, it doesn't hurt to get the weapons to level 8 and go from there, because the really expensive upgrades are going from 8 to 9 and 9 to 10, but the difference isn't really all that much in terms of damage. So, personal preference at the end of the day, what you wish to do and what weapons you want to use. But that's just something that, should give you a little bit of an idea as to some of the weapons and, how they work. Hopefully the video helped you avoid the bug. If you have any questions, like I mentioned earlier, ask me. I will do my best to help you guys out. And if this video does help, then please do me the huge favor of smashing that like button and, of course, subscribing for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.